Hi, I'm the animator's friend, India Lombardi-Bello. Thanks for listening to my show. Today I'm talking to, I think I can say, an old friend, my old friend, Nicole Otaola. We'll talk a little bit about our origin story in the episode. But yeah, I've known her for years. She's a lovely person. So I'm excited for you to hear our chat. She is currently a media instructor in the Miami-Dade Public Library System, which we talk quite a bit about because I think she has like a really, really interesting career pivot that is definitely worth considering in these weird times. You know, there's just so many different options for how to be an animator in this industry that isn't like the traditional route of like getting a job at a studio, you know, or freelancing even. There's just so many other places that need those kinds of skills that animators have, or people who like work in animation that maybe aren't so obvious, but they're there if you look for them. So I think that, you know, she's a really inspiring example of that pivot and how that pivot can really like work for you and be like a really positive adjustment in your life. Something new this month versus, you know, last episode, I always ask, you know, my guests about films that they like, short films that they like. And I always would share those in the show notes, but I kind of, for my own sake, like, you know, it's like, I want to watch these as well. And I was just like, ugh, like it's kind of a drag to have to like go into the show notes, get the links, you know, and I was like, I would watch them if they were all in like one place. And I had the light bulb moment of just like, everybody feels that way. If they were all in one place, it's so much easier to just like watch them. So for both the animations and other, you know, films and things like that, that my guests talk about that they like, I have a YouTube playlist called The Animator's Favorites. And I also have a separate playlist that's The Animator's Animation. So you can see the work easily that my guests themselves make. So this is all part of the Animator's Friend YouTube account, which is also where you can listen to the podcast as well. The handle is the Animator's Friend Podcast. I wanted to also mention that in our conversation, we bring up, because I met Josh Pilch, who is on episode 3, through Nicole. So we make a lot of reference to Josh that maybe calls for a listen or a re-listen to Josh's episode. So if you haven't listened to Josh's episode already, maybe start there and then hit Nicole's episode. There's just a lot of kind of inside jokes that I think would be enriched by listening to Josh's episode first. And Josh's episode is a lot of fun. Definitely one of the funnier episodes that we've had so far. So let's take a listen to those inside jokes and what have you in my conversation with my pandemic friend, Nicole Otaola.
Oh, that's so official.
It's official. It's happening. This has been a long time coming, I think.
Yeah. Yes. It's been years in the making.
Years. I wasn't planning to ask this, but then it did come to my mind, especially because I know we've told this story to so many people of how we met.
Oh yeah. We were on a school trip from SVA. You work for SVA right now. And you were working for them then, and I was graduating from their BFA Animation Program, and I got invited to showcase my thesis in LA for this like big thesis screening event that the school was doing. You were there on behalf of the MFA Computer Arts Department, and we both got COVID in 2022. And
it was my first time getting COVID. Was it your first time getting COVID? Wow.
Yeah. Wow. We had our first together. It was 2022 and it was summer and we had avoided it all year. Like that year, 2021 to 2022, it was a very strange year, but it was a really cool one because it was like, okay, we survived whatever lockdown was, and we're starting to come back in person, and we're wearing masks, and we're getting vaccinated, and we're avoiding it that entire time, only for us to complete the year with getting COVID in LA. Because we're like socializing, we're networking, and we're thinking we're in the clear, but we're not.
Yeah.
We're absolutely not.
Yeah.
So we end up being the only two in the group that gets left behind.
Because this was like still when like, it's like, well, I mean, I guess it's still kind of like, should you go on a plane if you have COVID?
Yeah.
I feel like people do.
People do, but it's like,
I don't know that you should.
If it's an emergency, it's like wear various N95 masks, wear masks on masks.
Yeah.
And if you're not sick, wear a mask on a plane, because you will get sick.
Yeah.
By the time you're off that plane, because people get sick on planes all the time.
What I will tell you and what I do, I thought that I would for the rest of my life wear a mask on a plane, because it's very easy to get sick on a plane. What I have always done, but now I'm like, I think it really does work. And I'm saying this for the betterment of my listeners, my many
thousands.
That what I do is I take airborne before the flight and after the flight.
Yeah.
And I really don't get sick from the plane.
Since you told me I think you're the one who told me about that hack.
Yeah.
Fun little trick.
It is a good trick.
To not get sick.
And now they have gummy airborne, so they're so much like nicer than they were when I was younger.
Yeah. It does help. I still take the chewable, thinking it's better than the gummy or something. But yeah, that happened. And we bonded in this hotel in West Hollywood. That was just a surreal experience.
It was.
And it was really nice to have, because if I did it alone, I would have been crashing out.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was funny. Because it was perfect, because we couldn't hang out with anybody, but we could hang out with each other. And we did. We would eat dinner together every night.
Yeah, we'd order takeout, obviously.
And then one day we had to venture out, because I think I needed like a COVID test result. Like I needed a positive result for work. And we went to my doctor, because I have like one of those places where it's like they've got offices all over the place. And they were like, oh, we can't see you because you have COVID. But I'm like, you're a doctor's office. And we ended up going to like an urgent care, and it was the most LA urgent care ever, because it's not just urgent care, it's also urgent plastic surgery.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They had just like a TV like showing all the services that they provide, and it was
honestly, it's very Miami core too.
We're in Miami, by the way.
We're in Miami.
So wait, this is also an important thing to say. This is the first interview I'm doing for the podcast, not in New York, but also with an animator that's not based in New York, Miami-based animator, Nicole Otaola.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you.
That's me. And I used to be New York based. And then I moved to Miami last summer. I grew up here. I was born and raised here, but I spent like 6 years living in New York.
But you're liking being back.
I do. I have my family here. I have a lot of good friends here. Yeah, I've just transitioned back into Miami life pretty easily, because I think I have a good support system down here.
For sure. You definitely do. All right. The questionnaire. The first question is, defend yourself. Because
what? What?
Less of a question, more of a demand.
Okay.
Because during Josh's episode, Josh, our mutual friend.
Oh no!
I was very misled by you to believe that Josh got really into the I Ching.
Okay, let me tell you something. Josh was in it for like at least 3 weeks.
3 weeks!
I'm so sure, but I realized, like, okay, we had none of those conversations over iMessage. We had them over Slack while we were at work.
Uh-huh.
And my Slack is gone, so I can't defend myself. I don't have receipts. But I know for 2 to 3 weeks, he was talking about Iching.
So do you think that he was just trying to play it cool on the podcast and be like, no, I would never be into the I Ching. I would never seek the answers to life's greatest questions through the I Ching.
Okay. I think... I'm so sorry, Josh. I think half of it was trying to play it cool, and half of it was just memory loss. I have good memory. I
was really surprised that there was such a difference in like, because I was like, she wouldn't just say that.
No, I don't just say things. I swear to God, I don't just say things willy-nilly.
No.
But maybe both of us are wrong.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle lies the truth.
Yes, exactly. No, let me tell you, I was in the car listening to that, and I like gripped the steering wheel. I was like, what? Oh man, I'm being name dropped. Oh no. I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna say. All right, but I can't prove anything because my Slack has been deleted.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, if he has access to it,
Yeah, Josh, if you're listening, send some screenshots, okay? We need to get to the bottom of this. It's really important to me and the health of this podcast.
Yeah. Was that
and the health of our friendships.
Yes.
All right. 2. What's your sign?
I'm a Virgo.
You know how I feel.
Yeah.
About Virgos.
I know you like Virgos because I've listened.
I say it every episode somehow.
Yeah.
Even when the person isn't a Virgo, I end up saying, I love Virgos.
Oh, I actually wish you were a Virgo right now. Actually, can you be a Virgo? Can you go back in time and be unborn? Thank you.
Do you feel like a Virgo?
Yeah, I was born on 9/11. I feel
I forgot.
I feel like I have to say that every time because that makes me so Virgo.
So Virgo of me to be born on 9/11.
I don't know if anyone's ever made that joke. I'm the first one to make it. All right. What now?
Is that all you have to say? You're
Yeah.
just gonna drop that bomb.
Well, I was born,
so to speak.
I was born before 2001, so
right.
That I can defend myself.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo, Taurus, Moon, Scorpio rising.
Nice. We're both Scorpio rising.
Oh, that's so cool. That's maybe why we're so intimidating. Yeah. Well, I think you're a lot more intimidating than me. I think when people get to know me, then I become a threat.
You feel like you become more threatening the more people get to know you?
Yes.
That's so funny.
I don't know if my friends feel the same way. But people approach me at work and they think I'm gonna be gullible, and half of the time I am. I don't know what else to say.
I'm trying to recall, I guess, when I first, because before we got COVID, what was my impression of you? Did I find you intimidating at all?
I thought you were cool.
Oh, thanks.
I thought you were I didn't know what to think. I know that Sam introduced us.
Right. Yeah, I think I didn't, I saw you around, and then we went to dinner together. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where we got COVID.
And that's where, she started exhibiting symptoms. Yeah, I was at that dinner.
I don't know. I probably got it from an event, and then I sat at that table, and I probably passed it to you.
Yeah.
That was wild. I just thought you were really cool and really honest.
Aw.
Yeah, which is very Scorpio.
What was I honest about?
I don't know, authentic, genuine, in the way you spoke, not fake.
Yeah.
Thank
you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's funny. I feel very not intimidating, but then I feel like certain people pick up on the Scorpio and then other people don't pick up on it at all.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I definitely see the Gemini in you most of all. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
And the Scorpio, I could see you as a Scorpio in your romantic life. We were talking about this earlier, but
yeah,
you're cool and intense.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that cool and intense, but I've been told before that I can have an evil stare.
I don't see that.
Yeah, you haven't seen my evil stare.
Oh.
And I just do like the Ben Stiller smolder, like
Yeah,
the blue steel. That's what I'm doing.
You were saying earlier that like in your relationships you're very like direct. Do you feel like that's
Yes, I am.
that intensity?
Yeah, I think I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like the first to bring up a problem, or I try to be. I try to be.
Number 3, what's the last song you Shazammed?
It's Snap My Finger by Kate Trinata featuring Pink Pantheress. I think I heard this song at the club or something. I did go to a club not too long ago.
Okay.
Or maybe sometimes I'll be in my friend's car and I don't want to interrupt the conversation.
Aw.
So I'll Shazam the song.
Yeah, very thoughtful. Would you say that that's representative of your music taste?
Oh no.
No.
Not really. Cause I mean, because I don't know, my music taste is way too diverse. I was listening to Jim Croce the other day. Love that guy. And then this morning, who was I listening to? The Sundays. I was listening to Doechii too. I listen to everything. I don't know. I have a very big music taste, and that song is kind of like hanging out with my friends, getting your makeup ready to go to the club kind of song. So it's like a song that's like, oh, I'll put this on a playlist. It's not a song that I'll like listen to when I want to feel like deep emotions or something. But it's a cute song. I like Pink Pantheress. And yeah, it's like I'm driving with my friends kind of song, you know?
Yeah, I hear that. Do you go to the club often?
Club is usually like a drag event, to be honest. I have very good friends who are drag queens and friends of drag queens, and we're always going out to stuff, and I don't know, little like events that you can dance to. Yeah. And I guess these are clubs. But they're not like the typical straight clubs you think about.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. Number 4, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh. It depends on what group I'm with, but the song What's Going On by the Four Non Blondes, that's a crowd pleaser. That's a fan favorite. I think that does well with every karaoke crowd I've been in. I remember with you, I did Give It Away Now, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and that like destroyed my voice, but at the same time it was really fun to do.
It also destroyed the apartment. Everybody lost their minds when you did it. It was, and like remember Christy's husband Ty?
Yeah.
He like still talks about it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Ty. Holy shit.
It left a really lasting impression. Because like, yeah, for the listener, maybe I'll also post this video when I share it.
Oh no.
Because she like became a different person.
Thank you.
It was incredible.
I really appreciate it. We were also like very not sober.
Were we?
I was not sober. Oh my god. And then another one with some groups, because it's like a complete meme, like the opening song to Hamilton, which is a song that's like, how does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore and a Scotsman, lost in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean, blah 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 blah. And it's just a really funny song. Like I don't think I don't really like Hamilton as a concept anymore, but the songs are so good. and I'll find myself like bringing that up at karaoke, and then finally Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
You're a rapper.
Oh no, no. I'm I can't defend myself. I'm the new Linny. I'm also Puerto Rican, so I'm the new Lin-Manuel Miranda, I guess. Oh, that's painful to say, actually.
5, what's a trend that you are enjoying?
I think dark lipstick has been in, and I love the way, like, ever since I discovered dupes of Clinique's Black Honey, and I don't buy the actual Black Honey lipstick. I just buy dupes of it, right? I enjoy that dark lipstick look so much. That is pleasing to me. I love kind of more gothic makeup now, but I don't do it myself. I'm trying to. I don't honestly put a lot of effort into eyeliner, but when it comes to like makeup, I'm really enjoying seeing the youth, because I work with teens, try out like cool new eyeliner shapes, and usually now it's a lot of dark lipstick.
Yeah.
And I feel like I kind of like pick up on all these trends from the teens now.
Yeah.
They know what's up. They know what's up.
Yeah. How does it feel that, like, because, you know, I would say about you, like us, because, you know, I'm millennial, you're Gen Z. I would look to you to be like, she knows what's up. But now you have people that you would say that are like younger than you, that you're like, they know what's up. How does it feel that you're at that part of your life now?
It's because I am the oldest of Gen Z. Like, I always thought I was a millennial, but then I realized, oh no, I think it caps at 97, right? Now a lot of the teens I work with are pretty close to Gen Alpha, but I feel like most of the teens I work with who are like 17, 18, 19, they're peak Gen Z. And I learn a lot from them, and like, I guess what life is like as a typical Gen Zer, because I feel I've always felt much closer to millennials in a lot of ways, because I was like on Tumblr, and I remember the Doctor Who days and the Sherlock days and the Harry Potter days and all this stuff. I was a very big Hunger Games guy. I love the Hunger Games, and yeah, it is a weird feeling. I am afraid for the Gen Z youth in some ways.
Like what?
I think the main thing is that it's like keeping a hope for the future, because teens see politics right now and they're like, okay, they don't take it seriously, so we don't have to take it seriously. Like, they don't take anything seriously. It's hard for them to take anything seriously. So
Yeah.
a lot of teens are not that hopeful about the future in the way that millennials were. But at the same time, millennials went through like the financial crisis, the economic collapse of 2008, or recession, and I feel like that's a pattern that might repeat, like a period of like no hope for your future. But I feel like at the same time, like, there was just a little more hope back then. Basically what I'm saying is, like, a lot of teens, they don't know what the world is gonna look like in 2 years or even a year, right? So they're just focusing on the now, even though adults are telling them to think about their future, and us as adults, we're like continuing about our daily lives as if the future is gonna look like what we think it's gonna look like. But in reality, like, everything is so unpredictable right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I worry about for them. It's like there's no soundness, there's no guarantees about anything.
Yeah, that's a scary place to be. And so young. Wait, did we go from like makeup to like the loss of hope in our society?
Yeah. I think we did.
Wow.
We're talking about deep stuff. Deep stuff.
This podcast has range.
Yeah. Yeah. We got goofy, and now we're getting serious.
Really fucking serious.
We're getting so serious right now.
Do you actually want to like maybe talk a little bit about the work that you do at the library?
Yeah. I'm a media instructor, which basically means I work with teenagers most of the time. Sometimes adults, because we have some adult hours, but teenagers most of the time, in like this big hangout space where they have access to a bunch of different technology, lots of resources. With the library card, they can use a sound booth, professional microphones, DSLRs for photography. They have backdrops, different kinds of sound systems. So like we got amps and guitars and pedals, various basses, a drum kit, a keyboard, all these instruments, right? We even have a banjo, which I've been dying to learn.
So cool. Yeah.
Oh, and a synthesizer, loop station. We have a bunch of cool stuff, 3D printers, and a bunch of 3D prints decorating our space. And we teach people about 3D modeling. We have a bunch of laptops, MacBooks specifically, and iMacs that they can use in the space. And they have the entire Adobe suite available to them. They also have Logic Pro, which is similar to Pro Tools. It's just the way more advanced version of GarageBand. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else we have. We have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like more stuff than I have ever heard of any other library having.
Well,
honestly.
Okay. This is a new concept, but you can find it's I think probably 15-year-old concept that it started out in the early 2010s. These things called maker spaces, because technology is evolving and libraries are about media in general, not just books. So it's like, how do libraries stay relevant? They have to update their technology. They have to have different kinds of resources dealing with storytelling, dealing with media available to the public. So there are, again, they're generally called maker spaces. They're all over the country. This particular program I work with started in Chicago, and then it kind of spread out, and it's in a lot of major cities. Orlando, for example, has like a giant place called the Melrose Center, which is kind of like a library, but it's just all sound booths and studios that kids can learn how to tell stories in them. Me coming in as an animator, I was the first person on the team to know how to use Adobe Animate and be comfortable with it, be comfortable enough to teach it. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Basically getting everything I learned in art school and trying to condense all the knowledge I have into little workshops that I can teach to teenagers and adults. And the adults who do come, they're usually like retired, they're usually elderly. Yeah, it's very unique position, and I'm super grateful for it because it's really cool. Like, it makes me love animation more. Aww. Because I get to see it from extremely fresh eyes.
Yeah, it's really cool and really special, and like another like fun example of a non-traditional way to share your animation knowledge with the world, you know.
Yeah, animation is media, and libraries, they deal with media, they provide people with media. Libraries love artists, I'll say that, because, you know, for the displays that libraries have a bunch of events going on every day, and they do need artists at the end of the day. They need creative people. So if you're creative and you're kind of stuck on what to do, and you like the library, you liked it growing up, or maybe you've never been, but you're curious about it, you should go check it out and see what's available there.
For sure. Inspiring. 6. What is the last movie you saw in a theater?
Baby Girl.
What'd you think? Because I haven't heard anything good.
You haven't heard anything good?
No, everybody says that it's like the most unsexy sex movie that they've ever seen.
Oh my god, they're not creative. I'm sorry. They're not out of the box thinkers.
So like, I don't know, give us what's your Letterboxd review?
Oh shit. Okay. We're pulling it up.
Nicole is a big Letterboxd user.
Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson are so powerful. Just like their own characters, their performances took turns topping each other.
Good one.
I have to make it into a joke or something. I enjoyed it. I think I will say, like, I gave it 4 stars. Maybe it's 3.5, but I just really enjoyed it as a movie. It had me gripping my seat. I hadn't seen anything like it before, and it was a good theatrical experience. But I was talking to my dad, and he was like, "Oh, you know what does this concept but better? The movie Secretary with Maggie Gyllenhaal and some other guy, which is about like kinks." But the difference is, like, she's a secretary and it's like the guy's her boss. In this one, Nicole Kidman is the girl boss, the CEO of the company, and Harris Dickinson is an intern. So it's just like interesting. Yeah, it's like interesting power dynamics are at play in this movie. I support the movie.
Okay.
I think Nicole Kidman is awesome.
Yeah. 7. What's a food from an animation that you wish you could eat?
Very basic, but the ramen from Ponyo.
Aw.
It looks like good soup.
Yeah.
It looks like good soup, and I love that movie. And it's like, I say it's basic because it's like the classic, like, oh, Ghibli food looks so good kind of Tumblr gif or gif you would see on Twitter. I'm chronically online. But it's the way, I think it's the way.
It's probably like the animation
of it. Because, like, it's like a dark and stormy day. Yeah. And these 2 kids are huddled around and they're hungry. And then the boy's mom cooks them both dinner. And I don't know, she does it so lovingly.
Aw.
I remember seeing that. I was like in middle school and I'm like, wow, magical.
Yeah.
I don't even think I had ramen in middle school. Like, I learned about ramen in high school.
Yeah. Well, then it was extra special because I feel like once you find out about ramen, you're like, I need to have that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Middle school me was blown away.
I mean, for me, I also have, like, I feel like a very basic answer, but it's like definitely my number one answer is I want a Krabby Patty.
Oh,
I want a Krabby Patty so bad.
Didn't think about that. I can't believe I didn't even think that didn't even cross my mind. Whoa.
Yeah. Like, what is the meat of the Krabby Patty, like, in the universe of SpongeBob? Can't be beef.
The SpongeBob wiki says it's meatless.
Interesting. That makes sense to me.
I'm trying to look at their sources. I'm actively looking at
the
their
librarian is fact checking.
The one thing I can tell, this is a producer that worked on the show. The one thing I can tell you that Steve Hillenburg has let slip is that there is absolutely no meat in the Krabby Patty. There's no animal product there.
8. What is your latest fixation?
Severance. Severance is so good. I just enjoy every element. It's like a mystery sci-fi thriller. It's also like kind of a love story. And Adam Scott is so good. I really liked him in Parks and Rec, and I really like him in this. I think it's like a very strong ensemble cast.
One of my students showed me the opening sequence for Severance.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so cool.
It's so, and it was a season 1 opening sequence.
He showed me, I think we looked at the season 1, but he said that they're all like kind of in the same vein, but weird and different and cool.
Because there's a new one for season 2. Like, there's one for season 1 and there's a new one for season 2. Yeah, I was blown away by it. I was
so weird.
Whoa, an
so cool.
Actual creative opening sequence. This is wild. I have not seen this in a minute.
Yeah. 9. What were you like in high school?
Oh, I think 9th and 10th grade, I think I was pretty confident. I was doing pretty good in school. And I was a nerd, of course. I was like a theater kid and a film kid. And I also took a vet class at some point because I thought I wanted to go into vet, but nah. And then in late high school, I was struggling a bit, to be honest. I was a little lost. My friend group, we were very close, but we were all going through something crazy. So we were all trying to survive together. I was just like a nerd trying to get by. Yeah.
I love that description.
Like I didn't know what I was doing for most of the time, but I knew that I liked storytelling.
Yeah.
That's what I was discovering. I thought I was going to go to school for STEM. But animation ended up catching my interest. I was really, really into Steven Universe, which is like a very dorky, typical animation guy thing to say. But it was pretty important to me, like in that time.
It's an important show.
Very influential show. And man, it's hard thinking about high school sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like just doing my best, trying to survive day to day. Yeah. Doing pretty bad at pre-calc. Pretty bad. I developed acid reflux my senior year of high school, and I always had pre-calc after lunch. So what would happen is I would eat lunch, and I was just trying to like contain my burps for the entirety of pre-calc. I was just like not focusing. I'm like, don't burp out loud.
That's where all of your like brain power was going.
Yeah. It was. I was a soldier.
Aw. Yes, you were. 10. What talent would you most like to have?
Singing. I don't think I have like a voice for singing, but like having a musical theater voice with a strong vibrato, I would have loved that. Aww. But I feel like that takes a little bit of natural talent and a lot of time and a lot of dedication and a lot of training, and you got to start young. So I wish I could sing. But I tried to sing anyway. Yes. But like sing in like the musical theater way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Very specific.
Very specific. Not my favorite type of singing. I gotta tell you.
But I was a theater kid. Yeah. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
I feel like singing you can learn. During the pandemic, one of the things that I did is I took voice lessons.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
And it was not because I think that I can cultivate this like great voice, but it's just like I always was interested in singing, but also too scared. Yeah. And because it's like very vulnerable. And I wanted to at least be like not scared enough to like do karaoke without a problem.
I see.
And it was really good because it gave me confidence, and now I can sing louder. And also we figured out that like I have a voice for jazz and country. Isn't that a fun combination to have?
You have a voice for jazz and country. Oh my god, you won. Okay. That's actually pretty sick.
So you can do the same thing. You can take a voice lesson.
I'll consider it. I'll consider it.
And I didn't do it for long. 11. When did you feel most discouraged about pursuing your creative path?
It was kind of recently, honestly.
Yeah.
When I moved back in the summer, and I had quit my previous job, which was in animation, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what kind of job I take. It's probably not gonna be a creative job. That's what I thought this whole time. I was actually trying to get into like nonprofit work. I was really big into voter engagement the last summer, and I volunteered for a lot of organizations. And I just felt like, okay, it's just going to be a thing that's going to be forever to the side. And it's maybe a hobby I'll touch on once in a while. But then I found this job at the library, which allows me to be creative and also teach people awesome things that I'm kind of relearning too. So it ended well, but it was a really weird time to be unemployed for a couple of months, kind of in limbo about whether I'm ever gonna be in a creative space again.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes those moments in your life, it feels so big and it's like, I'm never gonna do anything creative again. But it's like, life is long, babe.
Yeah, life is long, babe. I love that India quote.
12. What characteristic are you most drawn to in other people?
Thoughtfulness. Like how much they're paying attention to your body language or your eyes, to little changes that happen in every little interaction. The other day, someone was like, oh, why did you sigh anxiously?
Oh.
And I was like, holy shit, what? You noticed that?
Yeah. Stop perceiving me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when friends just send me a very, very specific meme or a very, very specific joke,
Yeah.
that maybe is like a really long insider joke, or thinks of me to text me like, oh my god, like this just happened. That's thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
And I love that. I really do. And I try to do the same. Not as successfully sometimes, but I don't know. That's one thing I want to get better at. It's like when I think of somebody, I text them.
Yeah. I think you're a thoughtful friend, for sure.
Oh, I try to be.
are.
I can be really bad at texting back. I can be like weeks delay.
But I feel like you're always like very like tuned in person, for sure.
Okay, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
Yeah. And you're curious, you know.
That's important too.
Yeah.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
I realized. I don't know when that realization struck me, but I at some point in my young adult life, I'm like, oh, like what keeps a conversation going is curiosity. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And that made conversations a lot easier.
Yeah, I always found like the hardest thing at some point with conversations that like I just didn't like want to like say anything about myself unless I was like explicitly asked. And it's like conversation is so much like, yeah, one being curious about the other person, but also being like okay to like share.
Yeah. Oh, what a dance it is.
What is your favorite feature animation?
I think my answer is always gonna be My Neighbor Totoro. Like in my most depressing times, in the most depressing times of my life, like that movie will make me get over anything I have going on. There are some things that feel eerily relatable as an older sibling and to have a younger sibling. And when the younger sibling is upset at something and is not following your directions and you yell at them, and then they get lost and they're crying and you're crying too, and you're close in age and you're kids and you don't know what's going on. Like that feeling is so primal. Like seeing that one scene where the two siblings fight because they don't know what to do because their mom is sick. That just awakens something in me. Another thing is like just a feeling of like running around grass barefoot as a kid, and the joy you can get out of that Miyazaki portrays so well. The comfort that you feel when the younger sister, I believe her name is May.
Yeah, the younger sister's May.
It's Satsuki and May. So May, when she like goes through the groves and finds Totoro sleeping for the first time, it's like there's never been a feeling of peace and tranquility so exemplified by a piece of media than that scene. Like when she just like looks at this big creature sleeping and then she gets on top of him and he yawns, and it takes its time. It's very slow. But every part of it feels so impactful, and then she falls asleep on this big creature and you're like, man, I want to be young and be in that exact situation. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. No, absolutely. That's like also one of my early favorites as well. And yeah, when I watch it now, I'm just like, oh, it's so magical. It's just like Yeah, can this happen to me?
It's magical every time I watch it. It's like you get feelings that you've never felt before, or you feel feelings that you haven't felt like since you were a kid. You know, that's why that movie's like always going to be special to me. And I remember watching it. I think I introduced it to my friends because like they had a screening of it in theaters, like G Kids. I think they're called G Kids, right? They're distributors of Ghibli films, and they played it in theaters. And I remember like showing it to my friends. That was a special moment. I remember showing it to my mom for the first time. Like, I'm like, Mom, you should watch this. You should get into this. She really liked it. Yeah, it's like it's always going to be an important film to me.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Important question. How do you watch it in terms of like dub, sub? Even when you were a kid?
No, because I didn't have what one of my friends calls an indie bitch childhood. Like I learned about Ghibli films through Tumblr. I had no idea what anime was in general.
So you
as
saw
a
it
kid.
older.
Yeah.
A little older.
I saw it in like middle school.
Gotcha.
When I was cruising the internet. And I think the first film I watched of the studio was Princess Mononoke, which I really, really, really loved. And then the second film was Totoro. And yeah, life-changing.
Yeah, because I had Totoro on VHS as a kid.
Crazy.
And I don't even, it's actually like, my parents must have just heard about it somehow.
Yeah.
And we had it. And so I grew up with it being dubbed. And I took for granted that, like, this is the version. This version that I had on VHS is, like, the dub. And then I tried to watch it when I was older, and the dub was completely different. It was something completely different. And I was like, this is horrible. They've ruined my movie. And I was like, I didn't know how to like figure out like what was that version that I had, because I mean my mom got rid of all my VHSs one day without my permission.
R.I.P.
So I had like
R.I.P.
I had no idea how to figure this problem out. My college boyfriend also was like into these movies, and we did some research. He figured it out that the dub that I watched growing up was the Fox dub. The dub that's more commonly distributed is the Disney dub.
I knew it. I knew Disney was
at fault for this.
I knew it.
And the Disney dub, I think that they used like celebrities to do the voice acting, whereas the Fox dub was actual like voice actors, and it's just a superior dub, but it's like harder to find. It is available with the Fox dub on the Internet Archive. So for those of you that care about which dub you watch, find it there.
Wow. You heard it here, folks.
Sharing really important knowledge.
I knew Disney was behind it.
Yeah. I
think they redubbed everything. I don't know if they were responsible for this dub, but Scully from X-Files, Gillian Anderson?
Yeah.
She plays like the wolf matriarch, the wolf mom in Princess Mononoke. And I think it's so fitting.
Oh, okay.
It's
good.
Crazy fitting.
She's got a great voice.
She does.
She has like something like, she talks like this.
Yeah.
Doesn't she?
Also, let me fact check what I said, because I want to make sure that I'm getting that right. I'm pretty sure it's Scully.
I think you're the only person who like fact checks what they say on this
Jesus
podcast.
Christ, because I'm scared of...
I have said like incorrect things. I said that everybody except for one member of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young is dead, when I think it's the opposite. There's only one person that's dead, and all of them are alive.
Oh, Crosby, Stills and Nash?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think only Crosby's dead. But I was like, they're all dead.
They all died years ago.
I don't know
Jesus,
why. I thought
morbid.
they all died. Yeah, so
that's
I don't value
honestly
the truth on this podcast.
Yes. Okay. She plays the wolf Moro in Princess Mononoke, and in the Japanese normal version. It's played by a man who plays like a female wolf character.
Oh, cool.
Which is interesting, right? And then
voice actors are like amazing.
Yeah, and then Gillian Anderson steps in to play Moral, the matriarch wolf. I don't know what is so magnetic about that performance. Really, her voice is just something else.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. It's very interesting learning about the Fox dub versus the Disney dub, the scandal.
Yeah, it's big for me.
Yeah.
It really like stressed me out for like a period of time that I couldn't find my version.
My version.
My dub. 14. What's your favorite short animation?
All right, I'm ready for this one.
Yes, you are.
My favorite short film currently is a short film called Dance with the Seashells. It's a French film. I love the way the French language sounds, and this girl is supposed to perform. She's like a pop star, and she doesn't want to be a pop star anymore. Like, she kind of wants to do her own thing. She doesn't want to write music, but she doesn't want to write conventional pop star music. Her concert venue disappears. She meets a guy in a shrimp costume.
Hot.
Yeah. And he helps her look for her concert venue that is in the shape of a seashell, by the way. So they're looking for it, and they sing this adorable song. It's such a catchy melody, and he finds it in her notebook of song sketches, and he's basically encouraging her to sing what she wants to sing. So she eventually does that very thing. The most of the animation is this song, and it's so beautifully animated, it's beautifully sung, it's beautifully composed, it's arranged, everything about it is so good. And it just instantly lifts my mood, this film. It has a very unique style. It's like kind of anime, kind of Steven Universe core, I want to say. Like some parts of it, when they're like gliding across the ocean. And I love everything from the colors to the music to the character facial expressions.
It's from Gobelin, which is so it's a student film, which is incredible.
Yeah.
That school's crazy.
Maybe that's why I like it so much. I'm like, oh, students made this. People who are learning how to do things.
Yeah.
Just made this.
Just made this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's so cute. And yeah, I'm not going to say too much more about it so that you guys can watch it.
Yeah, watch it. Check the links in the show notes.
It's an absurd film. Like, it kind of doesn't make sense when you step back and look at it, but it just brings me so much joy.
I mean, it looks fun, yeah.
It brings me so much joy. It's so wholesome and pure, and that's why I like it so much.
Yeah. Good choice. I'm excited to watch it.
Thank you.
15. These are a pair of my favorite questions always. What do you believe to be overrated?
Okay, I'm gonna.
She's got to lay down for this one.
No. I'm only laying down because I'm I've been awake since like 7 a.m. and it's getting to that time. We are deep into this. Okay, what is overrated? What is overrated? Oh, India, this is hard.
I asked my family at breakfast this morning, them all to answer, and they had such a hard time, too.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, I feel like I can just like whip something out.
What can you whip out? Exactly.
Give me 1 second, please.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm going to say is underrated?
What?
Not to jump ahead. Shooting hoops.
Okay, true.
Fun.
That's actually fun.
Underrated. Nobody talks about shooting hoops. Like, they talk about playing basketball.
But it's just like the practice of just throwing the ball into
Yes, just
the hoop.
enjoying the pleasure of getting the ball through the hoop is excellent.
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
Oh my god. But it's just hard to think. I'm trying to think of something that's overrated right now. 'Cause I could say something I don't like is like not wanting to talk about politics when important shit is happening in the world. But I feel like it's not a matter of like whether people like it or not, because people just don't want to do it. Like they're averse to it.
So actually you think maybe that like talking about politics is underrated?
I could say that it's way more needed.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't just ignore everything that's going on. Like we can say it's gonna be okay, but it's not gonna be okay if we don't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not made aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Being mysterious and not being loud about your politics and morals, that's overrated. It's better to be very upfront with what you believe in, I think. I feel like that's so corny, but like that's all I can think about right now. I'm gonna try to think about something else that's like very stupid.
For what?
For this
underrated?
very question.
For overrated. Oh, okay.
Oh my god, this could be very controversial. Beer.
You think beer is overrated?
Yeah.
I can understand. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry to beer. I'm sorry to beer. Like I usually end up drinking like a fourth of it or half of it. I love a cocktail too much. I love wine. Mm-hmm. I can drink all of that. But beer, nah, it's not.
There's not like a single type of beer that you are like, you know,
only
what I really
cider,
like this.
but that's not even a beer.
Yeah,
cider is like the closest thing I can think of.
Yeah, it's weird. I used to like beer a lot. Like I was just a beer and wine girl, and I really didn't care for cocktails very much. But now, martini and wine, and that's it.
You got me into the martini life.
I feel like I've converted a lot of people.
Yeah,
which I was myself converted. So I'm spreading the gospel.
Yeah, I love that. Wow, thank you for spreading the gospel. Thank you for converting me.
You're welcome. Happy to do it.
Yeah. Sorry to beer lovers.
It's okay. So then we got kind of muddy here with these questions. Yeah. So what do you like? Do you feel like not talking about politics is underrated as your answer for 16?
You know what? Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? I need an answer.
Or talking about politics.
Hold on.
Underrated.
Yes.
That's what it is. Not talking about it.
Yeah. Let me take like a good second
to collect your thoughts.
To collect my brain cells.
You were collecting your thoughts about politics, talking about politics.
Talking about the state of the world.
Okay. That's true. It's not I feel like something funny that people say is like, "Oh, I'm not political."
Yeah.
But it's like it's not.
Literally everything in your life is affected by what laws are being passed. What the hell is going on in this country affects whatever the hell is going on in your private life. So yeah, like talking about this worldly events, I think that's underrated. I feel like I have been a Debbie Downer a lot in a lot of friend groups because I just bring up a fact that makes everybody go like, what is that actually happening? And then like I'll fact check myself and I'll Google it and I'll be like, yeah, I guess it's happening. Or, you know, like maybe I'll say like, well, maybe that was an exaggeration, but this actually is happening. I think that's underrated because we can't I don't think it's healthy for us as citizens, for us as people living in a society, to just keep ignoring elephants in the room. I've never been the one to want to ignore the elephant in the room.
17. What's something you can't get your head around?
Oh,
Remember when Josh was like, nothing.
nothing. No, but why am I having like the same thought process? Because, okay, this is like when you don't want to, like, immediately I'm like, oh, I gotta get political now because
You can. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's come up a lot. I just think because it's it's affecting. We're Americans,
Yeah.
we're affected.
Yeah,
There's a lot happened.
A lot has been happening
and
every
continues
single
to happen.
day.
Yeah. So it's
so
natural that this should be something that.
So
comes
I'm
up.
gonna continue to talk about it. I guess maybe I'll talk about some of the stupider stuff that's been going on, like I can't wrap my head around the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, like it's more inclusive. I think I've seen a lot of people on the internet in right-wing spaces argue that, oh, it's more inclusive and it actually includes America and it actually includes Mexico too, but it also includes Canada and all this stuff. And it's just like, can you just admit that it's like the big dick competition? Like that our president wants to treat everything like the big dick competition? Because that's what it is.
Because, it's like you can't say it's inclusive of Canada or Mexico. Like, nobody else calls, like, even though it's, like, part of North America, nobody, like, says, like, that's America. Like, America is the United States. That's how people, use the word America.
Yeah.
18, what is the first work of art of any kind that made a meaningful impact on you as a child?
I want to say Jurassic Park.
Wow.
What?
Jurassic Park is overrated.
Whoa. This is unexpected. This is an attack. This feels like you're dismantling my world vision. No, I have to say Jurassic Park was very special to me. I also read the book later in middle school and I really liked the book.
Oh.
Maybe you would like the book.
Yeah,
maybe,
I'm sure I'd like the book.
Yeah.
Movie.
Oh, you were like, fuck that movie. What, you don't like Velociraptors?
You know what I have to say, though? I think it's important to note that my opinion on the film is very much probably informed by the fact that I saw it as a grown-ass woman.
You saw it as a grown-ass woman?
I didn't see it when I was a kid.
I can't believe you got to see Totoro as a child. Wow, we like swapped. Okay. That's crazy. I think I watched Jurassic Park when I was like 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was so young. And I had a T-Rex appear in like my nightmares and my dreams, not just my nightmares. Every now and then for a long time. And I really liked everything. Every like sequence in that movie felt insane to me. I had also watched like another Spielberg film, Jaws, at that age, and those are two thrillers that are iconic, but watching them when you're young, it's kind of like, oh fuck, it's gonna influence every decision I make.
Wow.
It's gonna influence like how I am when I'm in the ocean, because I love swimming and I love like being in the pool, but every time I was in the pool I was like, a shark could just come up and get me, man. Which is like really crazy to think about. Yeah. And Jurassic Park is still one of my favorite films of all time. I know what you're thinking.
Ash saw, animator, recommended to me Jurassic Punk.
What?
It's a documentary about like the guy who kind of developed the technology, like the CG technology, or at least like the technique that was used in that film. It's really interesting. You should watch it. If that's your favorite movie, you should watch it, because it's like really interesting in terms of like thinking about the technology, the industry side of things, what was embraced, what was dismissed, the politics of like a studio, like ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, the transition between practical effects versus, CG.
Sweet.
But my issue with that film, I watched it in a film theory class. That was my first time watching it. So I had to write about it after. And I found, which it makes sense, like I 100% get why it was this way, but I found the CG to be gratuitous, and that was my biggest problem with the movie.
Gratuitous?
Yes. Or it's just like, think about like that final scene. I don't know exactly what happens, but like this dinosaur like just kind of busts through.
Yeah.
And then there's this like banner that falls down that's like dinosaurs take over the world or something. Like it was just like so cheesy, and it was just like a way to like show off like this technology, and I just was like not entertained.
Wow. I mean, but how old were you when you watched it?
I know I said grown ass woman, but I was kind of a young ass woman.
You were a young ass woman.
I was an adult.
You were a young ass woman with opinions.
Yes. I had to have been like, I'm gonna guess 20.
Okay. Yeah, I could see why you would be critical of it. Mm-hmm. Very different when you're watching it at 5 years old. Mm-hmm. Also, I don't know. I love the look of the movie, and there's a lot of convincing shots. Like all the close-ups, you can see that they're animatronics.
Yeah, there was still a mix.
Yes.
19. What's your most life-defining decision?
I think it's easy to say like, oh, when I moved to New York, or when I moved to Miami during lockdown, and then when I moved back to New York, and then I moved back to Miami. Like, that's all easy to say, but I guess the first major life-defining decision I made was when I was 18 and I was graduating high school, and I realized like I didn't know what I was doing. This kind of goes back to what I was saying, like what was I like in high school? I didn't know where I was going my senior year. Mm-hmm. I was kind of lost in the sauce. So I waited until I could figure out what to do. I was lucky enough to like be able to take some very, very basic community college courses that would be easily transferable credits. And then I eventually worked retail for a little bit. And I just had a year where I was just like figuring out what I wanted to do. I was working on portfolios for art school because I really didn't have time for it. Or not that I didn't have time. I was just a depressed kid in my senior year of high school. So there was a lot of pressure for me to, like go and get out of the city and do school somewhere else, get a bachelor's degree immediately. And I think waiting a year to go to SVA was like the best thing I ever did in my life, because I knew like I don't even think I got into the animation department the first time I applied. I was still learning how to draw, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And then I spent a whole year, that year in between graduating high school and going to SVA, I spent that whole year just drawing in my sketchbook, mm-hmm. and using watercolors, and like I had never spent, I think I will never spend that amount of time drawing that much in my life. Mm-hmm. It was a great time, and I'm really glad I had that year, mm-hmm. of my life to not study seriously, even though I still took classes, but it was very different. I was like, how do I become an adult now that I'm not in high school? Mm-hmm. And that was good for my brain.
Did you get any kind of like resistance from your parents about taking a gap year?
I did, from one parent
who shall remain nameless.
I did, from one parent, because I was like a smart cookie in school, mm-hmm. and there are expectations for me. So one parent
That's very funny.
Gave me a little resistance. That's what's up.
Okay. Because, yeah, I think that, like, that's so, like, by the older gens, I don't know why. I guess it's like they think that you're going to lose, like, momentum or something.
Yeah.
And become like lost and like never go back to school again, you know. Yeah,
Exactly. I think that's what they thought.
Yeah, but I think that, like, yeah, you shouldn't rush into college. First of all, it's an expense that I don't think you should just like go into willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I also think that college isn't for everybody. Like, I don't think everybody has to go to it. Like, our society is set up now that you have to, kind of, in order to, like, I mean, there's plenty of trades and they actually pay really well. But, like, there's, like, it's more of, like, a social expectation that, like, you go to college. But it's, like, that the structure of college is not for everybody. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody excels in that environment because everybody's different.
Yeah.
You know?
100%, dude.
And yet, it's, like, everybody's expected to go and do that. And I think that's not fair. So I think, yeah, like, if you don't feel certain about it, don't go yet. You can put it off. You can always go back if you want to later, or never go and do something completely different. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's too much, like, societal kind of pressure on college.
Yeah.
It's a big decision that you're making at 18. So it shouldn't, if you don't feel ready, don't do it.
Yeah. It was a great example of not feeling ready and not doing it, and
it worked out.
And it works out. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Don't do something if you don't feel ready.
Yeah. For real.
Just for you, listener.
Number 20. When was the last time you lied?
A library patron asked me when I was there, like, what's my schedule, and I lie about my schedule all the time because I don't want people to know my schedule at the library.
That's a good lie.
That's a necessary lie.
Yeah. No, because it's like, mind your own business.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't have people knowing when I'm going to work, because sometimes I work at different locations too. So it's like, you can find me at this certain library a lot of days, but I'm not going to be there every day, and I'm not going to tell you when I am there and when I'm not there and what my off days are. Nah.
No.
I gotta lie about that.
Yeah. Why do you think they wanted to know?
Because some people like talking to me.
That's nice.
Like once
I'm well liked.
No, but I mean talking to. It's not even that I'm well liked or anything. It's like I listen.
Yeah. You validate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a validator.
No.
So some people, when they're like telling you their life story, they just want to come back to you.
Yeah.
They're like, this person is going to listen to my life story.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Are you good? I would like you to end every answer for the rest of the interview. That's what's up.
Oh God, I'm going to be the most annoying person in the world.
21. What do you consider your greatest achievement?
Oh man, I remember groveling over this question. I think my greatest achievement so far is all the work I was able to put out my senior year of college. After a brutal junior year during lockdown, social isolation, dark times. And some things just clicked, and when I was back in school, I just had like a beautiful senior year where I got to make a lot of the work that I wanted to make. And I still use that work from like that work is still like my main portfolio work, even though at this point it's about 3 years old. Like, cause I can't just say my thesis, but like the body of work I made that year, that was pretty productive. And I think that overall is my biggest achievement. And it's not like a technical one, it's just a personal one.
Yeah.
Like when I got to make the most art, and the art that I like.
And I can attest that your thesis was great.
Oh.
Directed by, right?
Yes, it's called Directed By. I'm still proud of it.
It's really good. It's really sweet. We'll put it in the show notes, so go watch it.
Oh. I'm honored.
That's what's up.
I'm honored. That's what's up. That's what's up.
22. I put this on here because I feel like we've never talked about it, but I'm always curious with people. Okay. Are you spiritual?
I am a little.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little. I grew up Catholic and I got baptized and then I had my communion and then I was confirmed. Damn. Whatever that means.
You did the whole thing.
Yeah, I did the whole shebang.
Who'd you pick for your confirmation? Don't you study a saint?
Oh, I guess I didn't do a confirmation.
Oh.
I'm like, did I do a confirmation? If I did, India, I do not remember what the hell I did. Maybe I stopped at communion. My mom would know.
I mean, confirmation is when you're older, you're like a teenager. So do you remember doing anything like that when you were a teenager?
You know what? I don't think I have. What was the last thing? I think the last thing I did at church was like confession.
I'm not confirmed, but I did confess.
I think that's the last thing I did. I confessed. Yeah, I don't think. No, you know what? I didn't confirm. I didn't confirm anything. I confirm that I did not do my confirmation.
Okay.
But, okay. Am I spiritual?
Currently.
Well, I do believe in something. Mm-hmm. I never know what it is.
Right.
But I do believe in a higher power. Not even all the time. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel like I get the urge to just pray, but I don't know what I'm praying to. It's very, very messy stuff.
It is messy.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. Oh, God.
23. This is a bit of a loaded question.
Oh, snap.
What character from animation do you have a crush on? And I've seen you answer this question before. And maybe the more appropriate question is, what character from an animation don't you have a crush on?
Whoa, I'm called out. I don't have a crush on that many characters. But what? Okay, no, but there's a lot of characters I don't have a crush on. It's too many.
You can tell me one.
I really like Nathan Lane's voice, so I really liked Tabone in The Lion King. And that one's really weird. That one's really weird.
That's so funny. That's so specific.
I don't know why. I love Nathan Lane's voice.
He's got a great voice.
And I love Timon so much. And it's such a weird one.
It's a good character.
It's such a weird one. I'm like, why do I like this? Like,
why am I attracted to this meerkat?
Okay. Can I tell you something?
Yes.
When I joined the dating scene sometime late last year, who was your favorite cartoon crush? Oh. Like, that was like a question I answered on Bumble to someone's like prompt.
Yeah.
And I was truthful. I was like, let's see like how weird I can get. And this guy, he was like, you want to fuck ferrets? And I was like, he's not a ferret.
First of all, he's not a ferret.
Honestly, just a mess. What a mess. That's a weird one, guys. I hope you know that. Like, it's really just Nathan Lane's voice. I love Nathan Lane's voice. Oh, and that man is gay. Just know that. I think a more conventional one is Max from a Goofy movie. I was like a kid.
That's the son.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's Goofy's teenage son. And I was a kid, and I was like, oh yeah, he's cute. That's a more conventional one, I feel. And I also liked the girl he had a crush on, which is crazy. But she's really cute too.
Yeah.
Like, her name is Roxanne.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my more conventional ones.
Okay. Hysterical.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to who?
Me. Me and my reputation.
24.
Oh, is this the last one? Oh my god.
What do you want to plug?
Oh snap. The mic. I want to plug. I can start with the show I worked on, the City Island on PBS Kids. It's a short series, and it's really fun. I'm gonna plug the library system as a whole. Get your library card. Support your local libraries. Go to their events. Please. These are weird times, and you don't want your local libraries to get defunded. They're like insanely important third spaces. I am working on a podcast with a very good friend of mine. There's a lot more to be announced, but it is revolving around Twin Peaks. I am a first-time viewer, and my friend Elle is an avid Lynch head, loves David Lynch, and has seen Twin Peaks many times. So they've introduced me to Twin Peaks, and it's a watch-along kind of podcast. So that's going to come out eventually. My Instagram currently is Obvious Nautilus, and my name is Nicole Otaola. And I am still working on my social medias, to be honest. But Instagram is usually the first thing I start out with.
She's very active in the stories.
I'm so active in the stories.
And you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I'm very vocal.
One moment it's about politics, the next moment it's a fish in the water.
do I post about fish in the water?
I couldn't think of I know you post about animals a lot.
I do post animals. Yeah. You know what? I do, because I'm always like going out and doing Florida man things. Like,
yeah.
The other day I was at the Everglades with my friend.
Yeah.
And I just posted I posted about fish in the water.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're right. And about gators on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, you got me. I do post art sometimes too. I am an animator at the end of the day, and India's podcast has inspired me to be the animator that I'm supposed to be as the animator's friend.
Aww.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to The Animator's Friend. This podcast is recorded and edited by India Lombardi-Bello, with facilities provided in part by the School of Visual Arts MFA Computer Arts Department. Music by Crank and Cloutmeyer Evans. Design by Sawyer Rippon. Special thanks to Sam Lee for introducing me to Nicole many moons ago, to Mick and Lisa Lombardi-Bello, Rowan Scott Hornack, and Kylie Mitchell. Talk to you next month.